Welcome, everyone, to the Energy Advisors Podcast. I'm your host, Rex, that energy guy. Glad to have you with us. Glad to have you listening in wherever you are around the globe or you're watching on the video platforms. Today's topic is what I call truth about energy. It's been a little bit of summer vacation, little gap in stuff, but we're back on the horse and ready to roll for the rest of the summer. But before we go there on today's topic, I always like to refresh people. You know, life is busy. We don't always have time to keep up with every video or things that we are subscribed to. So if you missed the last episode, number 74, and it was a discussion on community solar gardens and also virtual power plants and if it's really energy independence. So check that episode out. Before we get started on today's topic, Truth All About Energy, we'd like to thank our sponsors, our good friends over at My Energy Showroom. This is an exciting new concept. I love these guys. They are in the process of rolling out over 2,600 energy showrooms where you can walk into a fully staffed and fully functioning store with all the latest technologies so you can take a look at this and actually kind of kick the tires before you get started if you want to go down the path of renewables. So My Energy Showroom, and of course that's myenergyshowroom.com. The other sponsors in our program, we always want to thank our good friends over at Power. If you're going to do rooftops solar, Power is a great company that can implement it for you across the United States, coverage in 23 states, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico. Going to do rooftops solar. Power is a great partner. Our friends over at Universal Wind Kinetics, they are fantastic. They are bringing to the marketplace at great rates micro wind turbines. And these are amazing technologies, big advancements, anywhere from 1,500 watts to 5,000 watts for a single turbine. Amazing technology that can augment your solar installation or provide electricity for you no matter what. Also, our friends at Craftstrom Portable Solar. They do a great job of economical portable solar systems that can help you create electricity and offset roughly 70% of your electricity for on the go. So if you live in a situation where you're renting or you might have a cabin or out at the lake, great solution. So thank you to all of our sponsors for bringing the program to us that helps us continue to bring education and serve the market. All right. So today's topic is what I call truth about energy. You know, it's really interesting. If you go out on social media and you're scrolling through and you tend to see two sides of the argument of, oh, renewables are wonderful. And then you see people who poo-poo the technology. Oh, that's terrible. It's not truly green or whatever. Well, I have to admit that I too was a bit of a skeptic. You see, my grandfather was using solar to heat his home through heating air, forced air, and he was heating his water clear back in the 1970s. And he sold these systems. In fact, I can remember going out and helping him install them. So it was my first exposure to renewable energies. So fast forward to modern times, you know, because I'm an old fart. A little over 3 years ago, I put solar panels on my house with hopes that it would offset my electrical consumption. Well, it did. Okay, so I went from somewhat of a skeptic to now, okay, I've got data points that are working. But again, I wasn't buying into one side or the other. Energy has been severely politicized. And the reason for that is it's at the heart of everything we do. Whether it's existence, cooking foods, or staying warm or cool, it also provides us with our transportation and all the gizmos of modern life and comforts. But, you know, it's not as easy and cut dry as a lot of people think. It's, you know, there are extremists on both sides. And I respect their opinions because that's what we do. But listen, the truth is we need all energy resources to sustain the lifestyles that we enjoy. Uh, one of the transitional things that's happening in our world today is that renewable energy resources, so wind and solar, hydroelectricity, geothermal, now provide more than 30% of the nation's power demand in the United States. You know, instead of people being objective about it, people just, as I mentioned, they get on these extreme sides of it. But we really need all of them. And that includes fossil fuels. And I want to talk about that a little further down. So it comes down to a couple of things. Cost per therm, okay, so what it takes to create heat, and the heat then creates electricity. Go down. This isn't going to be an exercise in that. But we're going to need all of these things until some of the pinnacle technologies that we understand today, like hydrogen cells, because hydrogen is hugely available in our universe. It's one of the most prevalent elements, and then also nuclear fusion. Okay. But until those are economically feasible, scalable, easily deliverable, we need everything. Okay. However, let's take a look at this. There's no perfect energy source. There just isn't. As a researcher, author, and podcaster in the energy industry, the best thing for people to do is to be objective and get some education. What can be done, and most importantly, what are the costs and trade-offs? Okay, that's what it boils down to. Every single technology has trade-offs. Okay, so you look at the high performance of nuclear, but then the waste. You look at the cost of solar and then its outputs. You look at burning fossil fuels and its impact on the environment. So there's always some sort of trade-off. Now, I believe in and have lived through many technology innovation cycles in the last 3.5 decades in the tech industry. And here's how it works. It's pretty simple. Innovation starts, there's pioneers and inventors that come up with better ways. The technology matures, it's adopted, and then eventually it's replaced by more efficient and the combination of more efficient and cheaper technologies. And that's it. That's how it works. So energy is no different. Go back in time and think of all the technologies used to produce comfort in our life, travel, and we can look at all of these. Wood, dung, coal, water for like powering grinders and water to generate electricity, wind to move ships and to pump water, to generate electricity, and so on. You've got solar that was originally designed and used to heat air, then to heat water, and now generate electricity. Geothermal, gasoline and diesel to power fuel combustion engines. Propane, natural gas. Okay, so you get my point. Well, and of course, we can't forget steam engines. We converted fuels like wood and coal to heat water and then create a steam engine. But you get my point. They're all different, okay? And none of them are perfect, okay? What it comes down to is examining the use case, okay? Its economics and its efficiency, all right? So where do we go from here, okay? I don't believe we can take this extremist approach. So what I think is, here's some things that we should do. Number one, praise innovation. That's what mankind does. You take the genius of the brains that we were given and the collective human efforts, we create innovation. And so we should celebrate that in all levels. Okay. I think we should take the petroleum reserves that we have and put them to better use. Some of the uses that they're already being used for is making plastic, silicone, fertilizer, and all of those technologies that derive from petroleum. But I think we should stop burning it because it's not good on our environment. We should invest heavily in nuclear fusion development, hydrogen cell development, and of course, efficiency gains in wind, micro wind, solar, and geothermal. Okay. So there's no one perfect answer, and we need to celebrate those and invest in those. Instead of getting on sides and poo-pooing things, we really need to look at ways that we can use these innovations. Now, I'm going to make this suggestion instead of wholesale dismissing of any type of energy, as some sort of extremists often do. We need to put our energies together as humans to apply the best technology. Listen, whatever your thoughts are on the planet, I know this. Everyone wants a cleaner planet. Okay? Let's collectively seek cleaner paths. Everybody wants to exist, basic things like eat and be able to survive, but we also want the comforts that we experience in the Western world so we can live better, have less disease, and have less struggle to stay alive. So let's throw out all this political nonsense and let's make more pragmatic choices. And the next time you see some sort of information about, oh, this or that extremes, let's take a little more objective middle ground. All right. So I'm going to give you an analogy that's part of technology. I'm 58 years old and I love music. Anybody in my family, that I constantly have music playing all the time. No matter where I go, I have an earpiece in my ears or listening to. Okay. I think music is the language of the soul. It's part of the heart. All right. So let's take a look at this. The technology used to listen to music um, was never static. Okay. We didn't hear music in live and in person. There were technologies that were evolved. Phonograph, AM, scratchy radio, if anybody remembers listening to that, vinyl records, 8-track tapes. Remember those clunky things? You're listening to your music and all of a sudden click, click, and it stopped for a second and restarted. FM radio came along, cassette tapes, VCR, CDs, DVDs, satellite TV, which could bring us music content, and now the internet with digital streaming. Okay, all in a very short of time. Then you have the technologies like all the platforms like Spotify, and you can create your own lists and do it all digitally. Well, in just 58 years, I've experienced most all of that. And that's amazing. You think through that. Now, we need to cheer for this type of innovation cycles. We need to cheer for wisdom and the application of these technologies to make sense for us in the right use cases. I loved my collection of 8-track tapes. I had this huge stack of them. And then I was excited because cassette tapes came along. And I had a huge collection of those. I bought racks to put them in. But where are they now? They're skeletons. I think we'll see that along the way as we progress with energy. We will have skeletons. So let's cheer on innovation and let's not hold on too long to old technologies. So that's what I've got to you for today. My rant is over. I guess if you are watching on the video platforms, you can get back to watching cat videos or way too many political posts. And if you're done, you can pop over to other podcasts and learn about other things or just be entertained. So I want to thank you for tuning in today. And of course, all of our sponsors. And, it's important that we get together to add intelligence to this world because there seems to be a lack of that sometimes and a lack of common sense. So don't forget to subscribe if you're listening for the first time on the video platforms. Don't forget to follow on the podcast platforms. So until next time, I will say what I always say. Thanks and make it a great day.